And we want to get some of the specifics. Count 1, he was found guilty of using a weapon of mass destruction that caused the death of Crystal Campbell, Sean Collier, Lindsey Liu, and Martin Richard. So they did find that, yes, that he was involved, that he intentionally
and that's related to the pressure bomb #1, right? That would be the bomb that Tamerlan Tsarnaev, his brother, placed on Boylston Street. Count 4, Deb.
Okay, and count 4. So he is guilty, and that means that that is the bomb that he placed at the finish line, and the jury found that it resulted in the death of one of 2 deaths. That would have been the death of Lindsey Liu and Martin Richard.
Count 5 in now. Can we talk about this? This is another firearms charge, and it's in relation to the pressure cooker bomb, to the second one. That would be the one that Dzhokhar Tsarnaev placed. Let's go back to the count 6. Here we are, conspiracy to bomb a place of public use resulting in death. And this is this is interesting because of the language about intent. I think we should mention this elevates really it to a terror charge. This count 7 just coming in. This has to do with the bombing of a place of public use resulting in death, and that he was aiding and abetting. Guilty as well. Here's count 8, possession and use of a firearm in a crime resulting in death, aiding and abetting. This has to do with the first pressure cooker bomb, which is the bomb not that Dzhokhar Tsarnaev placed there near the finish line of the Boston Marathon, but the bomb that his brother placed. Count 10 in right now. This is possession and use of a firearm in a crime resulting in death, aiding and abetting. This is related to the second pressure cooker, the pressure cooker that Dzhokhar Tsarnaev personally put down near the finish line, which killed that little boy, Martin Richard, and an exchange student, Lindsey Liu. Count 11, guilty. Count 12, guilty. Count 11 is conspiracy to maliciously destroy property resulting in personal injury and death. This has to do with the killings of all 4 of the victims, the 3 at the Boston Marathon, as well as MIT officer Sean Collier. Count 12, now count 13 in guilty. Count 12, this has to do with the malicious destruction of property resulting in personal injury and death, aiding and abetting. This has to do with the killing of Crystal Campbell, who was killed by the bomb that Dzhokhar's brother Tamerlan Tsarnaev placed there. And guilty on count 13. This is a firearm count having to do with that first pressure cooker. And count 14, guilty as well. So 14 out of 14 guilty counts at this point. This has to do with malicious property destruction, and this is to do with the second pressure cooker bomb, the one that Dzhokhar Tsarnaev personally put down there at the Boston Marathon. The first 15 counts he has been found guilty of. 15 of 15 so far. We count 16 now. 16 of 16 he has been found guilty on. Count 16 has to do with possession and use of a firearm during a crime of violence resulting in death. This is pretty important because this has to do with the fact of brandishing and firing the Ruger 9mm semi-automatic that caused the death of MIT police officer Sean Collier. Count 17 now in also a death penalty eligible charge, guilty. Count 18, guilty. Count 19, guilty. Count 20, guilty. And now count 21, guilty. Some of these had to do with the firearm that was used in the killing, not only of MIT officer Sean Collier, but also in the serious injuring of Officer Richard Donahoe, the transit cop who nearly bled to death. Count 21, this has to do with the robbery of Dun Meng, who was driving that Mercedes, and after 90 minutes with Tamerlan and Dzhokhar Tsarnaev managed to escape. A firearm count pertaining to the Ruger, the gun that was used during the Watertown carjacking and the ATM theft. Remember, of that young man who spent 90 minutes with Tamerlan and Dzhokhar Tsarnaev. Also counts 23 and 24, 25, 26, and 27. We're looking at 27 out of 27 counts guilty. We are awaiting just 3 in the case of Dzhokhar Tsarnaev. This just in to CNN. Breaking news here. This is the final count in the Boston Marathon bombing case. Count 30. Dzhokhar Tsarnaev guilty. That makes him guilty of 30 counts, 17 of which are eligible for the death penalty. That means that the accused Boston Marathon bomber, Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, is now the convicted Boston Marathon bomber.